Hey everybody, we're doing a high-low circle skirt today. So I want you to fold your fabric a little differently. You're gonna have your selvages here and here, but your fold is going to be up here. So make sure that's lined up properly. So you're gonna take your waist measurement divided by 3 minus a half an inch. And for me, that is 9.5. From the corner of your fabric up here, measure down and make a mark at whatever calculation you just came up with. And so for me it was 9.5. Pivot your ruler over a couple of inches and make another mark. Pivot another couple of inches at that same mark. So I'm just doing 9.5 all the way around. Okay, I've made my marks right here. And now I'm gonna measure down. So here's where it gets a little interesting. You want this beautiful cascading hemline, right? So this is going to be the front center, the center front of your skirt. This is going to be your back seam. So if you want your back to be longer, then you want to start off with longer measurements back here. So I want my skirt to come down about 34 inches on me. Whatever back length it is that you want, that's what you mark out. So from your marking here, not from up here, from your marking here, you're going to measure down to what you want your longest length to be and make a mark. Then pivot over to your next mark up here, which is why I wanted you to do about a 2-inch increment. And I want you to take off 2 inches of the mark you just did down here. So I just marked 34 inches down here. So I'm going to mark in my next area 32 inches. Then I'm going to pivot over to my next line. And then I'm going to mark 30 inches. Then I'm going to move over and I'm going to mark 28. And I'm going to have to reposition my fabric down here. I'll move over to my next marker and I'm going 26 inches. And the next 24. And I'm going to stop at 24. So my last mark down the center front is going to be another 24 inches. So I want you to see that you can make your hemline whatever you want to make it. Next, all you have to do is connect those lines just like you did up here. Then cut out around this line and cut out around this line. And I'm cutting off my selvages. When I started measuring up here, I did not include my selvages. Sometimes your selvages are, you know, pretty minimal, but these are pretty prominent. So, and from what I understand, it's very good practice to not sew with your selvages because that's not what they're meant for. So I'm just cutting mine off. There you go. There's your skirt. And I'm going to move on to showing you how to do the waistband. Super easy. For your waistband, cut out 1 piece and the length of it needs to be your waist measurement plus 1 and the height 3 inches. Just to start sewing, you're going to take your waistband, right sides together, and sew it to the top of yours. I've sewed in my waistband. I've given it a press on both sides, and I've pressed my seam allowances up into the waistband, and I have a 9-inch invisible zipper, and I'm just gonna go ahead and install that on the sides. I'm assuming that if you're doing this tutorial, you do know how to install an invisible zipper. If you don't, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to do a tutorial for you. Got my zipper installed. It looks great. And I serged around the edge of my waistband here, and I also serged around the hem. I just fold down my waistband like this, and I just pin it, but I pin it on the outside. But when I fold it down, I'm making sure that it's lined up properly. So I'm gonna go all the way around, and I'm going to pin my waistband down all the way around. Got my waistband pinned all the way around, and it's even on both sides. So I'm simply going to top stitch all the way around about 1/8 of an inch away from this seam. And I like to stitch on the right side because I want that side to be the neatest side, since that's what's going to be seen. But it's very important that you understand where the hem is on your waistband to make sure that you're catching it. And see here, I gotta reposition my pen to make sure that you're catching it and your stitching is straight on the outside. So I'm gonna go back through. I'm probably gonna pin a little bit more to make sure it stays in place, and then I'm gonna do my top stitching. After my waistband is secure, the only thing is left is to sew the hem of my skirt. And this skirt is done partially on the bias, and a good practice is to let it hang for a little while before you hem it. And through the course of this tutorial, I've actually been doing this all afternoon because I've been starting and stopping just to go tend to, you know, my baby and eating things and making this a lot longer than it needs to be. But so my skirt has actually been hanging a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and hem mine. That's it. Your high-low circle skirt is done. I have hemmed my skirt. I have top stitched my waistband, and it's nice and crisp and even, and I gave my waistband and my hem a nice press. You can see how my lazy waistband method works. My zipper goes all the way up to the top, and I don't need to use a hook and eye. So I'm so sorry. I don't want to corrupt you all with lazy methods, but hey, do it works. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I absolutely love this skirt. This is probably my favorite DIY to date. So I'd love to see your creations. Make sure to tag me at StyleSewMe on Instagram, and I'd love to feature you so I can give you a shout out. So I will see you guys later. Bye.